You're muted, bro.
Classic ZG. If you know me from the DFS streets, a mute is a great way to start the stream. Welcome in, everybody, to the North End Podcast live stream. Here to give away those 2 tickets to the Decision Day match tomorrow there at Q2 Stadium. My name's Zach Graham, your host here on the North End Podcast, alongside my good buddy, on record as my best friend, and apparently fourth wife material. It's Ian Michaud, a.k.a. E, a.k.a. Le James Sebastian Drew EC. E, late night for you last night? How you feeling this morning?
I am feeling quite excited for the ticket giveaway. The new intro was spectacular. Very well. Job very well done. I was up late. Saw a couple friends do a show at the Carousel Lounge.
Nice.
Yeah, my first time there. That was exciting. But just super excited to get back to the stadium tomorrow, meet these lucky winners. Hopefully we get some people who are excited to see a good match. 5-1 on record. Awesome win. You heard it here first. So we'll be seeing a lot of goals. We can't guarantee that part. We can guarantee your seats. We can't guarantee the goals.
Well, and yeah, speaking of those seats, maybe, I guess it'll be up to the winners to decide after 90 minutes next to us. Those seats are next to us. So excited to meet whoever is the winner and able to come. And we'll get to that. We want to talk just 5-10 minutes here, kind of shoot the shit about the match tomorrow. The League's Cup was announced this week, so thought we could also kind of dive into that just a little bit. But so we also had some news, right, between when we released this week's pod and now. I think probably the most important pertaining to tomorrow's match is that a Wolf is suspended.
It's true.
It's not the young Wolf. So no coach Josh Wolf tomorrow, suspended on card accumulation, which really hit home for me, Ian, as when I was coaching, as somebody who got a lot of technical fouls when deemed necessary, sometimes when it was unnecessary too. I just enjoy a coach and a staff that's going to show that fight for the players.
How many did you retire with? How many technicals did you go out with?
5, I think.
But
none in my last 2 years. So
even better.
In my older age.
Do it early when you don't have any tenure.
So no Coach Wolf tomorrow. I think you joked in the group chat that maybe that's where we would finally see Kip Keller or Manchita. They could coach the team.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure it'll be Davey Arnaud, the assistant. But another interesting thing about this match, obviously, being an American sport, an American version of the sport here in MLS, we always start the matches well after the advertised kickoff time, right? So tomorrow the advertised kickoff time is 4. Typically a non-nationally televised game will get an 8-minute delay, but tomorrow on Decision Day, 4:18 scheduled kickoff. So For those who don't know, if you want to show up, maybe like E and I do sometimes, you show up right at that advertised kickoff time, shorter lines at the gates, get in, grab your beer, grab your food, maybe take a leak, get to your seats, get in there before the Verde Listos chant. So 4:18 tomorrow.
Yes,
is the scheduled kickoff. And something I'll say I know that you didn't see, because again, you are not on Twitter. Apparently, I guess I'll ask you this first. What provider do you use for your cell phone service? Because that is actually now key if you're an Austin FC fan.
I was recently transitioned to T-Mobile from Sprint.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, you're in luck, because you're going to get boosted coverage at Q2 Stadium with T-Mobile. Apparently they set up a new 5G network right around the stadium, so only T-Mobile customers get that boosted network availability, whatever you want to call it, right? So I guess if we need to fire off mid-game tweets, we're going to do it from your phone. Then maybe that's how we get you on Twitter.
I was going to say that's good news for me to shit talk some people on Reddit. Ruin some people's nights on Reddit.
There you go. Luckily for tomorrow, I don't know how many Colorado Rapids fans will be like really engaged with this match since they don't have anything to play for, and technically we don't either. I think except for wanting to keep our position for in the Supporters Shield, so we can potentially have a CONCACAF Champions League berth once all is said and done here in the playoffs. But we can talk about that another time. One thing I do want to talk about, like I mentioned off the top, is the League's Cup that's coming up next year. We got the kind of the information, or more information, the structure of how this is going to work, and felt like we should pull this up here and just kind of run through it, maybe give some preliminary thoughts. I think for you and I, again, it's well documented on the podcast that we're basketball guys first, and then I think you would say American football guys second. MLS is quickly catching up to those two for both of us after these last 2 years, but this is something we're definitely not used to, is stopping the season. I mean, international breaks in the first place are a new thing for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now we have this entire month that the season is going to stop. It seems like every year, maybe not in World Cup years going forward, I'm not sure, but yeah, July 21st to August 19th, no league games in MLS or Liga MX, right? It's all going to be these Leagues Cup games. So format here, all of the MLS and Liga MX teams will participate. World Cup style tournament. So you've got a group stage and then knockout rounds after that. The groups are only 3 teams, I believe, here, but they will be geographically aligned. So the groups, I believe, will be 2 MLS clubs and 1 Liga MX club in most of the groups. And for this season, this is probably my biggest gripe with the format, is that all the matches are in the United States and Canada.
Yeah,
like, not saying that you and I are going to like make the pilgrimage to whatever Mexican stadium we would potentially be playing a road match at, but that would be a cool idea, and I think something that we would want to do in the future.
For sure.
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
So I'm not. I honestly, go ahead.
I was just looking at that, and I was like, man, they must be kind of upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
right?
I honestly don't know if I wouldn't think it's like a COVID restriction at this point, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just financial.
I mean, of course it is.
Right.
Especially even when it's COVID, it's financial.
Yeah, you're right. Well, as I can imagine, right, you can probably charge more at the games here in the United States. And there's plenty of Liga MX fans, like, right? Atlas comes to Q2, Tigres comes to Q2, and it's like a 50-50 split in those friendlies. So, I guess I should, if thinking about it for just 2 minutes like we did here, it's probably the money.
I got it right away. I just let it be known that I knew right away what was going
on. So there's some group stage buys. So if we did win the MLS Cup, you get a buy. You don't have to play the 2 group stage matches.
Nice.
And you just start in the round of 32. In the group stages, each club will play a minimum of 2 matches, which is weird that they say a minimum of 2 matches, because are there going to be a few groups of 4? That's an odd thing to have here in like the breakdown of the tournament. Regardless of that, top 2 teams from each group advance.
That's what they're saying, right? The teams that win will get more games.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess the wording to me, minimum of 2 matches in group stage, to me reads like there could be more than 2 group stage matches. But again, I think you're right there, and I'm probably just reading too much into it.
I'm on fire today.
You are. Maybe Saturday morning. That's that's your peak.
I'm gonna go buy a lotto ticket real quick.
No ties in these games. Each team. This is an interesting twist here in this tournament. If you're tied after 90 minutes, each team will receive a point, and then you get an additional point if you win the penalty shootout. The game goes to PKs right after regulation if you're tied.
Interesting. So you get a point. Regardless, win or lose, there has to be a winner.
It's almost like the old NHL overtime rules, I think, where both teams would get a point if they went to OT and then a bonus point. Oh. I think that's how the NHL used to do it.
I'm unfamiliar.
Regardless, I think that's a cool twist. And if we don't see a PK shootout here in the playoffs that are coming up, maybe that's maybe that's the first chance we get to see our team
Yeah.
participate in one of those. So finishing up here, of course, win the cup, you get that bye. So clubs 2 through 16 on the MLS side, based on the Supporter Shield rankings, would be seeded first in each group, 2 through 16 on the Liga MX side. So with us being fourth in the Shield right now, we would take on, that's the 14th seeded team in
Hmm.
Liga MX right now. But again, obviously, still movement on both sides on both sides of this tournament in terms of the leagues. So no matchup set in stone yet. But on the MLS side, because it's regional and because we're near the top of the Shield
Hmm.
race or table, whatever you want to call it, you'd have to think we're going to catch a Houston, SKC, maybe Colorado, right, in our Leagues Cup group.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the clear priority, not priority, but my preference would be Houston in an extra rivalry match in that type of knockout
Yeah.
tournament. And I think I don't want to see SKC with how good they've been lately. But obviously, a lot can change between now and next July. Um,
It's gonna be fun.
any thoughts from you? Like I saw a lot of people, particularly like on the MLS subreddit, talking about they're not super happy with it. Teams could sandbag the group stage if they just want a full month off, and things like that. Like I'm more on the side, I think clearly that this is going to be exciting, and it's something I'm looking forward to, especially as our roster continues to get deeper. Hopefully over the off season. How do you feel about this tournament on the surface?
Like as you touched on right away, this is our first kind of experience, with when we got skin in the game,
Hmm.
and then doing this kind of month-long break. So I don't know if I want to say I'm super excited. Like I, I'm ready for it. I'm excited to see how it goes,
Yeah.
and then I can try to make some. What were the people's complaints? Sandbagging it, like just throwing in the
Yeah, I think
towel for a month.
yeah, maybe that some teams wouldn't take it seriously or that it
I mean,
would really wear.
there has to be monetary incentives to win these games.
I'm sure there is. There's also, again, you can see
Like,
here the tournament reward. So not just the winner of this League's Cup gets a
mhm.
Champions League berth, CONCACAF Champions League berth, I guess should
Yeah,
qualify
yeah. Let's
there.
let's
But second and third as well. So there's going to be a third place match. Um, so again, I think the Champions League is something that I would love for the club to participate in, and I don't know, man. However we can get there. I think it
yeah.
also would depend. Like, say we qualify right for. Well, I guess this would be qualifying for the 2024 CONCACAF Champions League. So, yeah, it depends, right? Some teams will probably have already qualified for the Champions League, so maybe they don't take it as seriously.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Like, if you're in the race for the Shield in MLS,
Yeah.
you're clearly going to be a strong side in this tournament, but you have to play two group stage matches and
Hmm.
then round of 32, 16, 8, final four, championship, 7 matches in a month.
Yeah. Shit, that is a lot.
So it's kind of like I do think a lot of teams will calculate their trajectory in this tournament differently. But
Hmm.
I think that's just it kind of adds an extra wrinkle to the tournament that I think is going to be cool. You're going to see a lot of players, especially like home fans. I
Yeah.
think we'll probably see some guys that you don't normally see get a
Right.
ton of minutes, especially in those group stage matches.
You could see Kip. Kip
Yeah,
might
maybe. Yeah,
Kip could play
yeah,
it.
next year in July. Can't wait for him to come back on
Him
the
and
pitch.
Manchita. We're gonna get him. They're gonna get their time.
Yeah. So clearly, 3 more spots there, 3 more berths into the CONCACAF Champions League from this tournament. So I think both of us, the conclusion here is just looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
um, let's go
Hold on.
ahead and what's that?
I mean, kind of off topic, but still, the NBA is trying to institute some
Mid-season tournament.
mid-season tournaments. So it seems like it's coming.
Hmm.
And by the year 2100, baseball will catch up and they'll do something
Hopefully,
mid-season.
baseball's gone by then.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let's just move on from it.
Well, let's go ahead and if there's 2, 3 people however many people may be catching this live after the fact, let's go ahead and jump into the ticket giveaway. The most
Hey,
important thing we're here to do today.
what the?
So we have, I believe, 63 Twitter accounts that qualified
Okay.
for this. And if I made a mistake, we'll double check here on stream. So what we're gonna do here is spin the wheel. We've got all the Twitter accounts there on the right here, wheelofnames.com.
That's awesome.
And so what I think is we should draw the winner,
Okay.
and I think we should give until 8 p.m. tonight to DM us. I'll reach out first on Twitter.
Okay.
Make sure we're making all the efforts to make contact with whoever wins. But I think we should draw a runner-up just in case.
Okay. Let's make it 8:01.
All right, 8:01.
Until 8:01.
Yeah. And we can also check here. We'll make sure while we're still live here that whoever does come out on top here has completed, the follow, the retweet, and the comment. I took all these names from the comments, so we should be good. I guess proverbial drum roll, please. Let's roll it. Who's going to be sitting in the North End with us tomorrow afternoon? Here we go.
Ooh.
A little Wheel of Fortune noise there.
Yeah, I like this.
And Jose. Oh!
T. Johnson.
T. Johnson.
1960. All right.
Congrats.
Hopefully.
We'll reach out to T. Johnson. I'll open up our Twitter here. Let's make sure T. Johnson is following the pod. T. Johnson 1960 follows us. Professor in the School of Journalism at UT.
Oh, snap.
That's awesome.
That
Journalism
awesome.
Degree, St. Edward's University. But yeah. So we'll reach out to Professor Johnson here, and I guess before we get out of here, let's go ahead and draw. We'll remove him from the wheel, and we'll draw our runner-up here. So if Professor Johnson doesn't get back to us by 8:01 p.m. tonight, we will be reaching out to Texconson Craig.
Texconson Craig. Wow.
So Craig, I assume from Wisconsin, now in Texas. Hopefully I have that right. There's our runner-up. So we'll let you guys know. Obviously, we'll reach out to the professor. And then at 8:02, maybe Texconson Craig can expect a DM. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We appreciate everybody participating on Twitter midweek with the giveaway. I think it's something that we hope to do next season for at least another game, maybe a couple. Just trying to give back to the community, right? And if we're in a position to do that and bring people into the North End for an in-game experience, I think that's something we're exactly.
Meet the squad here. Yeah.
The section captains there. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate you getting up early for this 11:30 a.m. pod on a Saturday. So for Ian, I'm Zach. We'll see everybody next time. We'll see you at Q2 tomorrow, and then hopefully you're tuned in to the pod recapping the final match of the regular season and previewing the first ever Austin FC playoff game. Until tomorrow, Bombas Austin FC. Goodbye.